Hi there. Thank you so much for listening in today. I have an awesome story to tell you, an awesome success story. And I wanted to make sure I got it out there for you guys to hear because it really addresses a question that I get asked over and over again. So before I dive in, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Heather Harden. I'm a clinically trained pharmacist. I've been taking care of patients for over 13 years. And I also am a professor. I've taught pharmacy for the past 9 years. And currently I'm working as a health and wellness coach. And my business is called Halo Health. The website is going to be found in the description of the post. So tune in there to learn more about me if you're interested about that particular part of me. But Halo Health is something I'm really passionate about. It allows me to work with patients, with wellness partners, I like to call them, and address their overall positive health outcomes by working with them more holistically, because we know that medications alone are not the only answer for improving our overall health and wellness. There's so many other factors that influence our health and wellness, and I'm going to talk in my story today about one of them. But there's more than just the medications that we have to work with our health partners on. I love to work with people on nutrition, on fitness, and a lot of what's up here, because there's so many challenges up here that stop us from reaching our goals, and we have to overcome those a lot of times before we can even take the first step. But today I'm pumped to share this amazing success story with you of a health partner that I worked with a few weeks ago, because there's this one question that I get asked more than any other question. I get asked it over and over by my health partners that I work with. And they ask me, how can I get off of these medications? How can I get off some of these medications? Because they don't want to be burdened by taking all of their medications. And it's a very real question. And here is the very real answer, or at least one of the very real answers. Many patients can greatly impact their overall health and also decrease their medication dependence by achieving a healthier weight. Now, everybody wants to get off of their medications, but when you start saying things like, we really need to get you to a healthier lifestyle and a healthier weight, and we can get off these medications, there seems to be a gap, because once we start talking like that, many patients will push back. They'll say, that's impossible. It's not realistic. I just can't do it. It's never going to work. I've tried it before, and I'm just not good at it. I'm not going to be able to achieve a healthier weight. Well, let me tell you this particular story, because I really feel like the proof is in the pudding, right? That's what they say. And there's this cognitive dissonance is what this is called. I love that word, those words, cognitive dissonance. And what it basically means is we have this goal that we want to achieve, but our ability to get there, our desire and motivation to get there is kind of down here. And so we have to bring those two together, and that's where I help patients a lot. But I want to tell you this particular story of a real true patient. I'm not making this up. I spoke with him a couple of weeks ago, and I had his list of medications that he'd been taking, and he starts telling me which ones he's currently on and how he's taking them. And we go through his medications. He tells me about what he's taking currently. And I noticed that he gets finished very quickly. I have many medications here that he didn't mention. So as usual, I go through and I just confirm we haven't missed something. And so I noticed that there were 3 blood pressure medications listed, and he hadn't mentioned any blood pressure medications. And so I asked him, so these 3 medications, are you still taking those medications? And he says, nope. And additionally, he had listed 3, in my list, I had 3 diabetic medications, and he only told me he was taking 1. And so I confirmed the other 2. I'm like, are you not taking these medications as well? And he said, no, I'm no longer taking those. And so I kind of scratched my head and I said, well, tell me more about that, because that's one of our favorite questions for finding out more about the story. Tell me more about that. And he proceeded to tell me that he had previously weighed 275 a year ago. And over the course of the year, he had lost 45 pounds. And in losing that 45 pounds over that period of time, his blood pressure started going down to where they had to peel off a medication. And then it continued to go down as he lost weight, and they had to peel off another medication until he had control of his blood pressure without medications. So he had come off all 3 of his blood pressure medications. And the same thing has happened for his diabetes medication. His blood sugar started coming down. They had to take off medications until he was now controlled. He had controlled his diabetes with the 1 medication that he was on. So he had basically gotten rid of 5 of his medications by getting to a healthier body weight. Now, not only did he come off of medications, you can come off of your, being reliant on medications, but his physical health was also improved because he told me that what he had basically done is decided to start walking. And at first he just walked, 5 minutes and he came back. And he said in the beginning, when he started walking at 275, his joints hurt. He ate when he got back, and it was difficult. It was hard, but he kept doing it. And as he continued to walk, and as he continued to walk a little bit farther, he realized that he hurt less. His joints hurt less. He ate less when he came back home. And so it got easier and easier. He said he actually felt great. Now that he had lost the 45 pounds, he no longer had the joint pain when walking. He felt so much better. And he was totally motivated to lose the next 30 pounds. He wanted to actually get down to 200, because when you have a success like that, it motivates you to say you can do it. And so then you're ready for that next challenge and that next goal in your life. So great things can happen. You can get off. This story shows you the realism of what can happen when you're motivated and you're encouraged and educated on a path to having healthier living, because you can become less reliant on your medications. And if you choose to take that big step, what you first need to do is realize that you're worth it, because that cognitive dissonance is there and you feel a lot down here where you're not worth it, you're not going to be successful, you've tried before. And so you have to realize you are worth it. And if you want it, if you really, really want it, then nothing can stop you. And the blessed thing about our lives is every moment we get to try again and try again. So no more excuses. There's no more waiting. You're going to just take baby steps. That's what you have to do. It took a while for you to get where you are on all those medications and in the health condition that you are. It took a long time. So you need to give yourself time to make the changes that are going to last. Not some drastic changes. This gentleman basically started walking, and then he basically changed a few habits in his nutrition. And then he walked a little farther, and then he changed a couple of more habits in his nutrition. So take baby steps and stop judging yourself and shaming yourself, because you're going to slip up. And when you slip up, you need to laugh at yourself. Don't beat yourself up and judge yourself. You just need to pick yourself up and laugh at yourself and say, oh my gosh, there I go again. And then pick yourself back up and just try again. That's all you need to do. Now, don't get me wrong, it isn't easy, okay, but I guarantee you that it will get easier. You have all that you need inside of you to be successful. That human spirit inside of you is powerful. There's nothing more powerful than the human spirit. There's nothing. No excuses, no family situations, no job demands. If you want it, you won't let anything stop you, and you'll achieve it. So I want to give you 3 things that I think will help us achieve a healthier weight, because it comes down to 3 things to begin with. And the first thing is the most important, I think, and that is creating new habits. Habits are very powerful. They're so powerful. They're often why we fail at being successful at making a change. They can be our undoing, to be honest with you, because they're so powerful. But all you have to do is retrain those habits. And before long, you're feeling awesome. And you're looking forward to the next challenge, exactly like my health partner there. I'll soon be publishing, actually, I just was working on it this morning, a blog about habits and how powerful they are and how you can harness your habits. If you could just harness the power of your habits, you can make some major changes in your life. So watch for that soon. I'll make sure I announce when I get that completed and posted. Now, that's the first thing, harnessing your habits. Now, the second thing we have to do is find and keep your motivation. because going from where you are now to where you want to be, it's going to take work, and it's going to take focusing on your motivation, because you will take a step backwards. We have a tendency to give up on ourselves very easily. That negative voice in our head is really loud. It can tell us what a failure we are. It can tell us constantly, why are you even trying? You've done this before, and here we go again. So, you know what we have to do? We have to like go in the garage, and we have to find that duct tape that's all dusty, and dust it off, and get a piece of that duct tape, and we just need to put that right on the mouth of that negative voice that's in your head. And we need to find a different voice, the one that knows how strong you are, the one that knows all the great things you've done in your life, and the one that's forgiving and encouraging, because that voice is going to tell you that you're worth it. And training that negative voice takes time. And sometimes, you know, that little tape starts coming off his mouth, and he starts talking again. And you know what you need to do? You need to stick your finger up, and you need to tell him no. And you need to just fix that duct tape back over that mouth of his, because you don't need to hear that. And sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes it's too hard for us to do on our own, because that negative voice can be really powerful, especially when we've listened to it for a really long time. And you might need a health coach or someone else to kind of help you keep your motivation, and that's okay. That's what people are there for you. Coaches are there for you to kind of keep your motivation visible. They talk about maybe putting a picture even up on your mirror of what your goal is, so that you're constantly seeing your goal. You're constantly being motivated to try again and try again to reach that goal, because you're worth it. So if you need help from someone else, don't be afraid to reach out. That's a place where I can help as well. So we need to harness our habits. We need to keep our motivation, keep coming back to our motivation. And the third thing we need to do is just celebrate ourselves. And what I mean by that is, whoever you are, you're special. And whoever you are, you're going to stumble like you stumble. And we need to celebrate who we are, and we need to laugh at who we are and laugh at our mistakes. The great thing about life, like I said, that as long as you're still alive, you have another opportunity to try again and make a difference. So you just, when you stumble, you need to pick yourself up. You need to just grab yourself, pick yourself up, and laugh at yourself. And stop being so hard on yourself and try again. You need to just go, oh, Heather, there you go again. Come on, let's try again. And doing this will make you stronger every single time that you pick yourself up and laugh at yourself. It's going to become easier and easier to forgive yourselves when you stumble trying to reach your success. And it's just going to become, it's actually going to go back to number one. It's going to create a different habit of how you treat yourself. So always remember, in this area, number 3, I think about what the Bible says. And the Bible says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So you are so loved by your Creator that He sees you through a lens of love and forgiveness all the time. He just looks at you and smiles all the time. So we need to try to look through His eyes instead of looking through the eyes of that negative Nancy with the duct tape over his mouth, because that's the reality of who we are. And in doing that, in looking through those eyes, you're going to be much kinder and much more forgiving of yourself, and much more encouraging to yourself to keep up the good fight. Because like I said over and over again, you are worth it. Well, I hope this story has inspired you like it inspired me. It was such a great example of how health and wellness can impact your overall quality of life. Like the gentleman felt better, and it also improved his health outcomes. It dropped his blood pressure, getting to a healthier weight, got him off of almost all of his diabetes medications as well. So my goal for you is to continue to share these kind of stories, share the advice that I have, all the information that I can to help you and your personal goals so that you can reach them and get to better health. So if you need someone to personally help you and guide you, you feel like you want to do that, but you can't achieve it yourself, if you need somebody to encourage you and somebody that's going to hold you accountable to taking the steps that you need to take to get to your personal success, reach out to me. Like I said, I have my address for my webpage in the description, and I also have an email that you can certainly reach out to me personally if you want to connect with me and find out more of how I can get you to better health, a better quality of life, and less stress is my goal for you. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I pray that it encourages you to pick yourself up and take a deep breath and laugh at yourself, hug yourself, and just take that next step to a healthier you. One thing I want to say is if you found this story interesting or if you felt it was helpful, please like it. If you think it would be helpful for someone around you, please share this video on your page so that others can see it and hopefully be encouraged. If you have some feedback on it that you think it could be better or things that I could do differently, I would love your feedback in the comments for that as well. And again, thank you so much for sharing a little piece of your time with me, especially if you made it all the way to the end. God bless you. Thank you so much for hanging in there. Now, I want you to go out there. I want you to love yourself more and just make the world itself a better place. Thank you so much. And until next time, see you soon. Bye-bye.